Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Mount Vernon study session for December 6, 2023 to order. The time is now 7:02. Item A is public comment. Is there anyone here in the public that would like to make a comment? You're welcome to approach the podium. All right. Seeing none, we'll move along. Item B, first up, is our appointment to the Arts Commission. Jennifer Berner, our Director of Parks and Enrichment Services, has this particular item, and we'll go from there. Jennifer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening we have 3 appointments that we are asking for the Arts Commission. One is a new appointment. His name is Park Thomas. He's not able to make it here this evening, but he sounds like he will be a wonderful new addition to the Arts Commission. He brings with him some great experience in the theater arts to add to the Arts Commission. So we had an opportunity to meet with him, and he worked really well with the Arts Commission and is interested in moving forward in the process. And then we have 2 Arts Commissioners that are returning. One of those is Dan Brooks, who is here this evening, and we also have Rob Zawick. He's not able to make it here this evening, but he is here for a reappointment as well. So staff is asking for 1 appointment and 2 reappointments to the Arts Commission.
Great. Questions for Jennifer on this item?
No, I would move the council ratify the appointment of Parks Thomas and the reappointment of Rob Zwink and Daniel Brooks to the the Arts Commission.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Mark and a second by Juan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. And Mr. Brooks, we're going to make you official tonight, so I'm going to come down. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the State of Washington,
of the State of Washington,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Mount Vernon Arts Commission member
Mount Vernon Arts Commission member
for the City of Mount Vernon,
for the City of Mount Vernon,
County of Skagit,
County of Skagit,
State of Washington,
State of Washington,
according to law,
according to law,
to the best of my ability and understanding.
to the best of my ability and understanding.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. Awesome. All right, item C tonight is the appointment to the library board, and this is Isaac Huffman, our library director.
Before you tonight is a reappointment to the library board. We have Chloe Clark up for his first real term. He filled in for Kathleen when she left her term last time, and so we really want to have Chloe on our board to continue. He has been a great library supporter, a good advocate. He is currently serving as board chair, and then also a good donor for our campaign as well. So a great member of the library board. So we ask that you appoint him tonight.
All right, any questions for Isaac on this?
Move to approve library staff to recommend the appointment of Chloe Clark to the library board.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, motion by Gary, we'll give a second to Melissa. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
And one note, I did in the memo screw up 4 years on the first version, and it's really a 5-year term, just so you guys know.
Thanks, Isaac. All right, item D tonight. This is to approve a resolution. This is to write off uncollectible accounts, receivable accounts, and this will be Doug Gillespie, our finance director. Doug.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. So city staff requests council approval of resolution 1048 to write off uncollectible accounts receivable accounts. The city has been busy working to reduce the balances of past due accounts. After review of many old and closed accounts that have proven to be uncollectible or have minimal balances, the city has identified the attached list of accounts that are appropriate to write off. As you remember that the state auditor's office brought a recommendation a few years ago that we do this annually, so that's one of the reasons we are doing this here. So the city is recommending writing off the attached listing of accounts with a total of $27,446.43.
All right, questions for Doug on this?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is that list made public? The list of the accounts we're
It,
writing off?
it's not
I don't know.
protected, is it?
There are some Public Record Act protections for people's utility bills. So if it had, depending on the information, it could be subject to exemptions.
There are some utility bills. on
Yeah,
there.
what somebody's paying for sewer and their account numbers
Yes.
could be subject to some protections under state law.
Okay.
So we'd just have to review it.
All right, thank you.
So the only question that I had was, Doug, if we were a little more aggressive in putting liens on, I know some of these properties were sold, and if we were a little more aggressive in putting liens on, are those some of the dollars that we could have recovered at the time of a sale?
You know, I possibly, most of these were older accounts, but you're absolutely right, that is gonna be helping with that. We've been getting a lot of collections
I
and
know
stuff now. and
you've
so-
stepped up the lien process and
Right.
you've been collecting money, so I was just wondering if that was reflected in this, as far as maybe what we hadn't done in the
Then,
past.
and it will be in the future for sure.
Great.
Any other questions for Doug on
Oh, go ahead.
I was.
I was kind of looking at the list.
that? Do you want to call anyone out on camera?
Kind of.
Yeah, I hear
Well,
you, Gary.
I mean, I'm looking at one of them that it's in my building, so I'm trying to think. Why, a lot of these look like fire department inspections.
Yeah, a lot of them.
So, I mean, I haven't,
These
I
are
was-
older ones that, yeah, just have not, have not gotten collections for them. And since they're like, you see the dates on them are mostly 2019 and stuff, the amounts that are on there, it's not worth the time to collect anymore, so we just decided to write them off.
okay.
Yes, sometimes when you send them to collections, you would incur more costs and may
Yeah.
not be able to collect anyway.
Well, generally, when you send them to collections recovers the cost from them, not,
Correct. If you're able to collect. But
Right.
it's still the cost of preparing everything to go to collections, so.
true, this is true. It is a little disappointing to see some of the names, for sure. So
Yeah,
with
c-
that,
Yeah, because I guess I have no problem paying a fine right now if it was a business inside of my building. But I knew nothing about that. And I never got a note that said that was a part of that. So that's very interesting. Because usually, we always pass inspections, so.
so that brings a question. With our sewer and garbage bill, it goes with the property owner. So why didn't the bill go to Gary as the property owner?
As far as fire inspection, I don't have the answer to that, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think your utility bills go to the property owner, but I don't think your, it's like, our body shop.
Right.
The property's held by an outside company, but when we have a false alarm, we get the bill at the body shop and we write the check for it, and the property owner's never notified, so. Because it's a fine on the business, it's not like a utility.
Brings up an interesting question for our fire chief, though.
Maybe, yes, it does, but he's not here.
So I will write this down so he can address it with
Maybe.
you next week.
Maybe we need a policy.
Yeah.
All right, well, given that discussion, I'll make a motion that council approve resolution 1048.
Second.
Okay, motion by Melissa and a second by Juan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. All right, item E is the approval of a resolution. This is for a periodic update schedule for the comprehensive plan. Stacy Pratchner, our Development Services Director, is here for this particular item. Stacy.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. As Council is aware, during the earlier study session this evening, we reviewed the draft resolution in front of Council, number 1049. This would be a resolution to establish a preliminary schedule to guide the 2025 comprehensive plan update process. The resolution establishes a couple things for City Council, not only the preliminary schedule, but this also represents a first and critical step in the public notification of the process and the start of the public participation plan, so that the public has early and continuous opportunity to know the process and also be involved in the process. We also discussed during the study session that the recitals also covered that this will be the priority of the Development Services Department over the next year and a half until the update is due in 2025. So respectfully, if it's Council's pleasure, we would recommend approval of Resolution 1049. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, questions for Stacy on this particular item?
No, Stacy pretty well explained this during our committee meeting this evening, and it's something we have to do to comply with state law. So with that, I would move the adoption of Resolution 1049.
Second.
All right, motion by
man.
Mark. I'm going to give that to Iris. There's a second. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council.
Appreciate the eagerness of council to get work done. All right. Item F tonight is the approval of an agreement. This is with the State of Washington Department of Ecology, and our Public Works Director, Chris Phillips, is here. Chris.
Hopefully, we keep the good vibes going. Good evening, council. Good evening, Mayor. So this is an agreement before you as 2024 Washington State Conservation Corps Agreement, WCC 2399. Staff recommends council approve the detention pond maintenance agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology to have Washington Conservation Corps perform vegetative maintenance on drainage facilities. The agreement will be for up to 4 weeks of WCC crew time with costs not to exceed $29,040. The city has partnered with the WCC since 2015. They do very intensive work in some of the drainage facilities that require handwork with pulling weeds and maintenance. And with that, again, the city staff recommends council approval of this agreement and not to exceed $29,040.
All right, questions for Chris on this?
Well, we do that every year, and it's always a good program. So I would like to vote to authorize the mayor to sign the interagency agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology for up to 4 weeks of Washington Conservation Corps crew time.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, motion by Mary. I'm going to give a second to Juan. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item G tonight is another approval of an agreement. This is with, again, the Washington State Department of Ecology, and Chris Phillips is here. Chris.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff requests that City Council authorize the mayor to sign the fiscal year 2023 to 2025 water quality stormwater capacity grant agreement. Execution of the agreement with the State Department of Ecology is required to use the $130,000 of grant funds, which has been awarded to the city for implementation of the city's National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System Phase 2 municipal stormwater permit. The city has been in compliance with the permit since the effective date of February 2007. The city has been awarded capacity grants for $130,000 of funding for continuing the NPDS Phase 2 municipal stormwater permit implementation, and these grant funds will be administered by the Department of Ecology. So again, city staff is recommending the council approve the mayor to be able to enter into this agreement.
All right, questions for Chris on this item? All right.
I'd like to move for approval of the grant agreement for the city's NPDES municipal stormwater permit.
Second.
Motion by Mary and a second by Mark. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Item H is the approval of an agreement amendment with Transpo Group. And Chris is here.
All right, thank you, Mayor. This is for the Hogla Venture intersection improvements are now operational and physically complete. The main objectives of the project were to signalize the intersection with protected left turn lanes on each leg, eliminate sidewalk gaps leading to the intersection, and upgrading all ADA ramps and approaches, and to rehabilitate the pavement. The signal improvement will increase capacity by allowing longer queues to empty in a controlled fashion rather than cross it one time. The city was awarded a $1.3 million urban arterial program grant from Department of Transportation, TIB, with a $348,000 city match for a total cost of $1.648 million. During this time frame, as council has been aware, we've run into a few issues with some subcontractors in this, where we had one electrical contractor go defunct, file for bankruptcy. We had a few unforeseen events with hiring another electrical contractor, and then the ordering of some of the parts that came in. This time delays caused an additional 35 days of work for the project lead, for additional inspection time, design support, and construction management efforts. And the cost for those associated with those inspections was $45,806.50. Again, the team did a wonderful job minimizing costs, and the final project cost, including design, construction, and construction management, was $1.407 million, and that was approximately $200,000 under the original funded budget. What we're asking is the council to authorize the mayor to amend the contract with Transpo Group for the amount of $45,806.50.
Okay, questions for Chris on this?
I
I
have no,
just have one comment,
Oh, go ahead.
and it's a compliment
Oh,
for Chris at the department and the city. Because of this project, it's been, not just because I represent Ward 1, and as it is located, this project, we've been having so many good compliments about this project. So beautiful to have a traffic light on the corner, and how helping the traffic in the morning and in the afternoon. And many of our neighbors, they stop just to read all the description on the signs in the project. And I just want to say thank you in the name of my ward and to the city for this beautiful and magnificent project.
Awesome. Thank you, Iris. Melissa, did you have a comment?
nope,
Okay.
nope.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and if no one has any other comments, I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to amend the contract with Transpo Group, increasing it by $45,806.50.
Second.
Motion by Melissa and a second by Juan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you again, Councilmember Curtis. All right, I've got,
Chris again.
oh, for some reason I thought this was going to be Jennifer. Sorry. All right. So item I is the approval of a resolution. This is the Recreation and Conservation Office RCO grant. So you can see why I thought it was Jennifer. Application. So Chris is here for this.
all right, thank you, Mayor. Public Works is applying for a Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Grant for culvert replacements on 30th Street and Allison Avenue. Both of these culverts are on Logan Creek. The Allison Avenue culvert is upstream from the 30th Street culvert. The grant is administered through RCO, which requires a resolution for the governing body, which would be City Council, agreeing to the terms and conditions of the grant prior to the grant application. The request from council is to adopt the RCO model resolution language to include the city's grant application, which is due in January 2024. Again, the city staff recommendation is for City Council to approve the attached resolution for signature, agreeing to the RCO grant and conditions required within that application.
Okay. Just making sure. Oh, resolution 1050. Just making sure.
I'd move to approve resolution 1050 for the RCO grant terms and conditions.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion by Gary and a second by Juan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Hey, Chief Kamick, do you mind closing the doors? I'm getting distracted by some of that outside. Thank you. Item G tonight is the approval of a resolution. This is a proclamation of a civil emergency, and Peter Donovan, our Special Projects Manager, is here for this. Peter.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, Council. Mayor Boudreau declared an emergency situation in the city of Mount Vernon yesterday, December 5th. The purpose of that, or the cause of that, was due to the threat of flooding along the Skagit River. As Council is likely aware, Mount Vernon Municipal Code 2.40.060C requires that the mayor present the declaration to Council for ratification immediately following that. So staff is recommending tonight that City Council approve a resolution to ratify and confirm the mayor's proclamation of emergency.
Great. Questions for staff on that?
So I would move the adoption of Resolution 1051, ratifying the mayor's declaration declaration of emergency in relations to the December 5th threat of flooding.
Thank you.
Second, happy to see the water's going down.
Yes, all right. Motion by Mark, second by Mary. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Peter. Item K tonight is an executive session. I will ask our city attorney to call for the executive session.
Yes, I'd invite the mayor and members of the city council to enter into an executive session on the grounds of discussion with legal counsel, enforcement action, litigation, or potential litigation to which the city, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when such discussion, if public, would likely result in adverse legal or financial consequence to the city pursuant to RCW 4230, subsection 110(1)(I), and moreover, to discuss issues related to collective bargaining sessions, including contract negotiations, grievance meetings, and discussions relating to the interpretation or application of a labor agreement, or planning or adopting the strategy or position relating to a collective bargaining, which is wholly exempt from the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to RCW 4230, subsection 140, subsection 4. 25 minutes would be the executive session time. I believe we would reconvene at 7:50, and no further action.
All right, with that then, we'll be adjourned into executive session at 7:23.